All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Readers. So we're going to take another look at SoundHound, and it's funny because I made a video a couple days ago, right before this spike that we saw yesterday, and I ended it with basically saying, I'm worried that SoundHound doesn't have any news to look forward to, and I thought that that might do something. Lo and behold, we get a nice little headline from the company. I'll talk about that for sure. And I will be honest, I think there's maybe even a little bit of a connection with BlackRock and maybe even NVIDIA to that, because you get partners, you learn things, and hey, maybe they help them time the news. So it's just kind of a theory I'm going to throw out there, all right? From their BBAI, it's going to be a real quick review. I'll probably just kind of chapter it along with SoundHound, but I'm afraid of earnings, and I think this is another reason why. And earnings are the craziest thing that could be. I'm telling you, all right. And I want to include MVIS here. It's been a while since I've covered MVIS, but it's setting up, and it might be trying to do something. All right. So before we go any further, and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, though, what are we gonna do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to this channel, share this video online with your friends, comment good or bad if you disagree. Look, anything you can do helps so much with these YouTube algorithms, especially if you can actually click that share button. It's a powerful little thing on these algos, all right? So SoundHound. All right, the first thing I got to start with is, this is still a rather confusing chart. There has not been two back-to-back candles, and it's still perplexing to me. All right, $6, the $6 line and the no news line were basically the two highlights from my last video I wanted to bring up here. So again, I mentioned the first one on the introduction, right, on the opening thoughts, but I was really afraid that there was no more news left for SoundHound, right? We had earnings, we had the investor news, we had a lot of follow-up and reaction and all that, right? But it seemed like that was kind of it. What's the next thing that they're gonna do to pique our interest, keep our interest, whatever that word is, right? Lo and behold, we get the headline that demand is through the roof. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Maybe through the roof was not the correct phrase, but nonetheless, they gave us guidance that what they expected the numbers to be are clearly much lower than they really are today. They are much high. They are that I don't know if I said that really dumb, but the numbers they expected were low, the realities are high, right? So that's good guidance right there. We still don't know what the truth is, right? Hey, maybe it's only a 5% increase, right? And they're just kind of overhyping it and stuff. Nothing was certain. I don't think there was anything really definitive, but the headline was enough, all right? Maybe, and I know I said this on the Discord, maybe the 516 line I drew was a little bit stronger than expected. I'm just kind of going back to see where that 516 was. It was actually the first kind of peak right there, and it looks like that's interesting. I don't think that's I would guess that, again, because when I draw my lines, I'm not here to draw them perfectly, right? I'm not good enough will make or save you plenty of money, trust me, right? And I don't think this is a perfect line. If I actually had to guess, I don't think that that's lined up too well. Nonetheless, all right, the news did well, okay? But I said 2 things, all right? I basically said 8 moving average. I think actually I only said 8 moving average because that was probably okay. So I made my video on Wednesday the 6th. That makes sense, right? You can see it when I click on right here on the 6 box over there. The 8 moving average was $6 at the time. It's come down since, and we'll talk about where it is right now. But to me, $6 was the money line. I needed this thing to close over $6, or if you're going to get over it for the moment, you got to make me believe that you were going to keep running. And trust me, there were plenty of discussions on sound. It just needs to get over 6. Whatever. I'm not going to go through it, but like there was a lot of discussion on it, and I kept stressing like it just there are oscillations that happen, right? You go up, you go down, you go up, you go down. End of the day, it just I don't believe it was going to break the 8 moving average, all right? And I still don't. So let's talk about today, okay? So today you can see it. The 8 moving average is sitting at 586. We closed at 586, all right? Yesterday was under it. Today is on it. I don't care that we opened up here and yesterday we were not over it, and today we are not over it. We are standing on the line. I use the analogy, if you are in Buffalo in the freezing depths of winter and you're standing at the door instead of inside the house, you're gonna freeze. You might even die out there, right? Like, this thing's not over the 8 moving average. This thing's nowhere near the $6. I know it looks close, but nah, okay? The other thing about today, look, I know it looks like a good 4% day. I know it looks like a baby little gap up thing, right? I do not like the fact that this thing opens. Look in the box over there, right? This thing opens up here at 624 and then falls all the way down to what, 5 something. To me, that's a horrible day. More people lost a lot of money today than they made money. Because again, this thing opened up here and went down. People were excited that we were about to crush 6 and keep going, right? It wasn't that long ago that we were at 8. I'm sure people were starting to have some $8 dreams, right? So again, you gotta raise your criteria for entry, and you work hard for your money, man. Make these tickers do it. Again, if you are long and strong, for now, there is still no reason to think we're going to come down to the 200, all right? I for sure keep saying, and I'm going to say it right now, we have not confirmed that this thing is broken, all right? I realize we've been living up here for weeks and weeks and weeks, but there is still no 2 good green back-to-back candles for confirmation. It is for sure not these 2. It is for sure not these 2. That's the only string of 2, right? Like, those are all just dojis anyways, right? So there is a chance, there is still a chance we come down to the 20 moving average sitting here at 460. I really think that is still a very real possibility, because again, what happens is if you can't oscillate back up, you then lose the line and you head down to the next one. And between this green line that we're at and all the way down here, all I see is green, 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 whole lot of nothing, and maybe a red, 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 right? So this 516 seemed to do the job on Thursday. I'm sorry, on Wednesday. I guess in a lot of ways you can kind of say it held. No, yeah, that was Thursday. Sorry. Yeah, you can say it held Wednesday and Tuesday, but yeah, I don't know. I still need this to do better before it gets my money. That's my simple answer. I need this to close over $6 at the bare minimum. If I was to, and you know, let me zoom out to see if there's a better one. There really isn't though. Where are we? What's this? Yeah, that's also 6. You can see I'm clicking right here. That's 595 on the close of that day, and then that open was 594. This thing, there's a hard wall right there. Look, I see that we're there after hours. I don't care about that. That's super insignificant of a move right there. I'm still not a believer. I'm not. I don't think that there's enough on this MACD and RSI. We have gone, look, it wasn't that long ago that we were down and then we went back up. You can see it again right here, right? Our RSI gets super low, it comes back up, it goes super low, it comes back up. Instead of going continually down, it actually, I guess you can kind of say it did it one more time. We start to kind of do the opposite. We go up, we stay here, we go up, we stay here. I don't know if we're going up again. I think this is still just a little too 50-50. For me, I would not touch this thing under $6. That's still the echo, because I think you need some hardcore news for this thing to go up, all right? NVIDIA went down a little bit today. This is not a crash. All right, I know this is a big, bad, scary candle. This stock just knows how to ride the 8 moving average very well. If it needs to, it'll use the 20 to get back. But I mean, this thing just got a little too high from the 8, needs to come back down, should take off back again. All right, maybe if it needs to, it'll come back. That might be a little bit scary, sure. But as long as we're over the 8 and the 20, nothing's bad with NVIDIA. All right, so don't worry about that. Yeah, I think this is good. Let me look at the IWM real quick. This is the Russell ETF. All right, not the best of days today. I don't know if that did much with SoundHound, and I know NASDAQ did come down a little bit because basically of what NVIDIA did. So I would say NASDAQ and IWM didn't really help SoundHound much either, but I think that $6 wall is a little bigger than it looks. So yeah, let me know your thoughts, even if you disagree, you know that, all right? Really quickly, I want to cover BBAI, and there's not much to cover, but I'm hoping I can show this. I don't know if this thing shows yesterday's post-market. It doesn't. All right, I can see it on my phone. I can see it on Webull. The first 15 minutes, once earnings dropped, was a 22% loss candle. All right. The problem with earnings is if it's bad, everyone's selling at the exact same time, and it's this crazy fall that you just it's crazy. It's like a split second. You know what I mean? So to me, earnings are never worth it. And I said it on Wednesday's video. Look, I didn't know if the earnings were going to be good or bad. Right? Like, I don't have any sort of crystal ball. I knew if the earnings were going to be good, it's going to be more than a one-day thing, and like people are going to be happy for a good while. I also unfortunately knew if it was bad, it was going to be horrible, and again, it's not going to be something people forget, and it's going to linger for a bit. I'm looking at a really bad gap down. I'm looking at a complete loss of the 8 and a real quick loss of the 20. I'm a little surprised this line held, because if you watch the video, I actually even thought we would come as low as 220. I thought we would come straight to the 20 moving average. I did not think that this 20 would hold it, but hey, lo and behold, it did. All right, that's a scary RSI. That no longer seems like a happy MACD, and I mean, volume seems like it might keep picking up if and in the ugly way, right? So this to me is more of a put this in your back pocket, right? When I talk about earnings fear, I hope you know what that means. You know what I mean? And hey, even if you don't listen to me, right? Like, just know that any stock, any sector, I don't care if it's a blue chip monster or a small insignificant penny, something in between, whatever. Earnings are scary because it's such a random event, and it's generally very, very, very monstrous one way or the other, up or down. And again, even if it's a monster up, I'm really cool missing that 20% up, because in my head there's another 20% easy I can catch, right? Like, I don't need to ride it all to win, right? So BBAI, to me, this is hopefully a good lesson. I would say this, okay? There are two really important lines down here, the 100 and the 200, all right? There is clearly a real strong horizontal right here that was basically from mid-November all the way to geez, late February, right? So I still think we're coming down to 220, okay? There is a decent chance we'll even lose 220 and come all the way down here to this 190 range. We cannot lose 190, all right? This 220 hopefully will be a bounce point. Hopefully this is the lowest it goes. The 50 is a strong line. Hopefully the 50 catches it and lets you bounce back up. Hey, maybe even the 20 will, but I just don't think so. I think the earnings were so bad that we've now lost the 8 and the 20. That's what I gotta believe. If we lose this, we come here, and I mean, this right here is a bounce or die moment for sure, because if we lose, all, like, as amazing as that ride up was, if we lose 190, it will be a violent ride down for sure. It is what it is. And then the problem is, I mean, you can almost kind of see it. Green, 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 green could be a fast red, red, red. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you thought of the earnings if you watched it, right? I always say our opinions don't matter, but hey, I say that as a short-term person. If you're long and strong, give some opinions, right? Let the people know what you love about BBAI. So, again, let me know your thoughts, even if you disagree. Let's take a look at MVIS. It's been a while since I've covered MVIS. I hope everyone in the MVIS world as well. Really quick, if you can please subscribe, if you can please share this video. This thing does wonders when it's on the MVIS Reddit, all right? So let's talk about MVIS. And man, I don't even, again, I got very, very focused on SoundHound for immediate reasons, right? But I mean, okay, I'm gathering my thoughts. You can tell I haven't seen this chart in a while. I actually looked at this thing with my wife really quickly last night. My wife said we should buy this. So to her eyes, this thing's getting ready. And I think you can kind of see what she likes. But the last time I really remember covering MVIS, it was all about the 100 moving average. All right. I was talking about the oscillation up and down and up and down. And unfortunately, right here was not only the moment we lost the 100 moving average, it was actually the moment we were under all five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look, my rhyme, I don't know if you've heard it in a while, right? You break all five up and you fly. You lose all five and you die, right? This thing has broken all five and it has flown. It's lost all five and died before, and hey, at least it wasn't that bad this time. But I mean, it was a rough move down, right? That's a bunch of red candles in a row. Again, it still seems though like we're oscillating on this 100, right? Because one thing I talk about, if you watch my videos, is when even 3 lines is a lot, because that's more than 50% of my lines, right? When 4 lines like we have here get this tight, I kind of call it a tornado, right? And it can spit you up, bring you down, spit you up, bring you down, spit you up, bring you down, spit you up. I'm telling you, almost at random for no reason, all right? That was a little bit of why I was hesitant to buy today. I will tell you, I was awake this morning because I was looking at another stock that flew and it made me happy. But I saw this thing really high up. I think it was in maybe the high 7-8%, if I'm not mistaken. And it looked like it was ready to go. And my wife gave me a nice little "I told you so." But came back down, I would say, almost for no reason. And I say almost for no reason because look at that volume. I'm a little bit shocked that our 50-day average is 2 million, almost flat. You can see it's 2.09, right? 2.0. And we were nearly 7. That's more than a 3x spike over the 50-day average, and all we got was 3%. That's a little odd to me. I think I'll blame the tornado, but I think there's a decent shot at maybe thinking we're going to come back up to the 290, all right? Again, I don't know if it's still all about the 100 and the 100's just simply kind of laughing at me as I'm getting excited, waiting for it to go up just to suck it back down, right? But if we can escape these 4 lines, it actually could be a good little rocket. And hey, MACD seems like it wants to get into the positive. It's a little negative, right? But it seems like there's a nice little divergence right there that might take us up. Seems like I'm seeing the same divergence, right? Problem is though, right? I mean, the RSI is not getting very high. It gets a little high and then kind of comes back down. Gets a little high, comes back down. We saw the same divergence right there, but I will say this is over all the moving averages, insignificant little candle, but still over. Right? We do have a better MACD, and more than anything, we have way better volume than we did in any of that little kind of divergence moment, right? So I like these three indicators. I will actually tell you, right? Because I say it, I move my money on these, right? The 1 and the 2. The 1 and the 2 are looking nice. It's kind of telling me that this thing might have a little bit of gas actually. And hey, I don't know if it's going to have enough gas to break this 292, but I think there's some gas to take us from 250 to almost 3. And that right there is a 20% swing if it hits, right? I actually have that channel right there too, right? And that's a quick up, green, 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 red, 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 up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. I think it could be a pretty fast move up if we get over it. So MVIS, I think, is worth a look. I think earnings has already happened. Again, we looked at this really quickly. We checked the news really quickly. Maybe it was the earnings that made this fall. I'm not exactly sure. I'll be honest with you. I will say, and again, I kind of talked about losing them all and dying here. This fall looks bad, but none of the volume during it broke the 50-day average, right? As important as it is to go up and need volume, for things to go down and go devastatingly down, you also need big bad spikes of volume. So that's actually the reason I don't think that came down right there. So interesting daily, and like I said, I think it's fair to have a good 290 target. Again, look, this is a weekly that has gotten over the 8 and the 20, failed the 50, tried to get over, failed again. It's now trying to get over. Do I think we're going to break that 50? I really don't know. What's the 50 at? It's at 280, right? I think maybe, though, kind of like we see here, I think maybe we'll wick over it, maybe hit that 290, whatnot. But I think there's a shot. And again, this was a good week of volume. It wasn't a great week of volume, but with last week, with this week, hopefully that sets up a good next week, right? The NASDAQ and IWM were looking good. I think that a little bit was slowed down because of NVIDIA. I'm not very scared of NVIDIA, but I am at least going to just flash them real quick. This one's a little bit of a scarier candle, but nonetheless, all right? If those can get a little bit better next week, it should clear things up. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions. Hey, thank you so much for watching.